it's Felisa, and today is another entry in my video a day in May. And today I just want to talk a little bit about um, breastfeeding and normalizing breastfeeding. Now, admittedly, if you cannot tell, if you did not see my vlog on Wednesday, I just turned 48, so I'm not having any babies. However, I do stand in support of my sisters and, other moms who are having newborns. I have a couple of girlfriends who are currently expecting, and at least one who was just delivered last year. And so, I'm listening to a lot of their stories. Now, not everybody will elect to breastfeed, and I want to make sure that I am on the record as saying that if you choose not to breastfeed, or for whatever reason you can't breastfeed, that is completely your choice, and you get to make that as a mom. I think that you have to do what's comfortable for you. However, those of you all who have chosen to chosen to breastfeed, I think that you should have some support, and that's why I'm doing this vlog, because I've heard a lot of things in the media, and I am a staunch breastfeeding advocate. Now, what's funny about that is my youngest daughter she's going to be 18 in June. My baby. But anyway, she's going to be 18 in June, and I have four. And so, of course, she's the last of the Mohicans, and she's the only one that I nurse. Now, oddly enough, the reason that I nursed her was not because, I thought, it was just this great thing, or that I even had a whole lot of information about it. When she was born, actually, when I was pregnant with her, my sister-in-law was just like, Lisa, are you going to breastfeed? You need to breastfeed. It's like the best thing for you and the baby. Like, she was my own personal lactation consultant. And I didn't know where that came from because I'd had three other children. And at that time, you declared, how you were going to feed the baby, what your plans were post-birth. And I guess it's still the same, but I just said bottle feed because that's all I knew, and I was a bottle fed baby. My mom didn't nurse for whatever reason. I don't think I've ever asked her, but it's just what you do, and that's what I was comfortable with. And you go out and get bottles. I never even thought about breastfeeding until she actually put that on my radar, and then I read what I refer to as my childbirth Bible. What to expect when you're expecting, and I read that book like all four times as if it was some new information in there, but I kept that book and read it and digested it, and I mean, like, it made all the difference in my pregnancies, and I love that book. So if you're pregnant and you haven't gotten that book, I strongly recommend that you get that thing like gave me some insight and some awareness, and like I said, I read it four times like I didn't know what was happening. But it was wonderful information. Anyway, back to my story. So when I was expecting her, she just kept saying, are you going to breastfeed? Are you going to breastfeed? And I mean, like, I hadn't even given it much thought. I hadn't, of course, it was some information in there and what to expect when you're expecting. But it wasn't like screaming at me, oh, I should do this, the benefits, that, and the third. And so I had her, and just as a leap of faith, when they asked me, how do you plan on feeding the baby, Mom? I said, I'm gonna try and nurse her. And so she was the first one that I nursed, and I had a lactation consultant, a nurse from the La Leche League, came into my room and helped me because I was so paranoid. I thought I was starving the child to death because, of course, it's a breast. You can't see it. I was accustomed to bottles, and they drink 2 ounces of formula. You put it down. How much is 2 ounces out of your breast? You have no idea. So she came in and, really helped me. She had a good latch, so it wasn't that, but helped me to kind of know that what I was doing was not only in the best interest of my child, but completely normal and natural. Now, again, I want to stress to moms that normal and natural is however you choose to feed your child, whether it is a breast or whether it is a bottle. That is normal and natural for you. And so I'm not intending to act as though only breast is a natural way to feed a child. So let me make sure that I stress that. But anyway, so I nursed her, and I absolutely adored it. I really did. Now, I know that there are some nursing horror stories out there. I know that there are some, moms who have had difficulties with nursing, and my heart really goes out to you all. But for me, it was a wonderful experience. It was a wonderful bonding experience. I can't even, 17 years later, and I still can't articulate what it was like to know that not only my body was producing the most valuable nutrients for my newborn, but just the bonding experience to know that I could sustain her at least for a little while with my own body producing ability. And just the fact that her little face was just looking up at mine, like it was just, I fell in love instantly. And I instantly regretted not nursing my previous three children. Now, I have to say that, I mean, it definitely is not scientific, and I didn't do any scientific research. But if I just looked at the spectrum or at all four of my children, my last one that was nursed was definitely the healthiest. Definitely suffered from fewer allergies and environmental issues. She was of normal weight, whereas the other three of them, kind of struggled, fluctuated. She didn't suffer from constipation. She didn't suffer from, any of some of the other ill effects that you hear about with formula. She was colicky, so I think that was just her, but it wasn't a disrespectful colic. So she tended to have colic from about 7 at night to maybe 11, and she would scream her full head off, and then she'd go to sleep. But I mean, I'm saying all that to say that, breastfeeding is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, that brings me to my point. I said all that to lead to this. We have got to stop acting as though a woman using her breasts, which is why she has them, to feed a newborn is somehow distasteful. We need to stop sexualizing them, hypersexualizing breastfeeding, because you might accidentally see an areola when a child is being fed. Stop sending mothers to go and to feed their children in a bathroom or in a toilet where you got fecal air and urine dust rolling around in there, and people are doing all kinds of god-awful things in there, and she's in there trying to feed her child. Now, if you think that is the most sanitary place to go and have a meal, why don't you pick up your meal and you go in there and you have that? And if you're so bothered by someone breastfeeding, stop looking. Stop looking. She's not inviting you into what she's doing. Now, of course, the argument could be made that it could be tasteful and whatever. Now, look, when I nursed my daughter, I tried to be discreet and do the blanket. It gets hot under there, and children reach up and snatch it off, and I'm not getting ready to play cover the baby every 5 minutes, and I'm trying to juggle this child and hold her steady and make sure that she's latched on and make sure that the blanket is over there so that you can be comfortable. The whole reason that people are uncomfortable with it is because we have made it such a weird kind of thing in our society. We have made women feel uncomfortable with their own bodies, their natural ability to feed their children with their breasts, which is the whole reason that they have them. Meanwhile, we have half-naked women running all over the place and nobody says anything. Can y'all just stop and think about how backwards that is? How completely bizarre that is? That, you have a problem with a child being fed, but you don't have a problem with plunging necklines, booty shorts, and, half-naked women walking around in prints, billboards. You don't have a problem with women being hypersexual to sell everything from cars to hamburgers. But you have a problem with women feeding their children. Like that, it defies logic. So I want to come out in support of my moms out there who are desperately wanting to just do the right thing by their children and nurse them in the way that God intended and the way that nature intended, with their breasts, in a completely non-sexual manner, because a child is hungry and we tend to feed children on demand. I mean, when you get hungry, don't you get cranky? If you've never been out in the middle of the mall or, in a public venue and a child is having a complete and colossal meltdown because he or she is hungry, yeah, I really don't want to hear from you. I really don't. Like, I look at those moms and I feel sorry for them because I know how frustrating it is. You're trying to quiet a child, trying to make sure that the child is comfortable. You're out, you're just trying to get whatever it is that you're trying to have done, and you must stop and do what you have to do in order to attend to that child's needs, because that child comes first. And if that means that you have to somehow get your breast out of your brassiere and stick it in that child's face so that they can eat, then that is what you do. And I support my sisters who do that. And those of you all who are on the shaming wagon, telling women to go to the toilet. A toilet is a whole bunch of things that you do in a toilet, but you don't feed a human being in there. Stop it. Just stop doing that to women. Stop it. And we need better laws and better support in this country for women who decide that they need to breastfeed to have a quiet area where they can go so that society is not easily offended by accidentally seeing an areola. Don't do that. Just stop that. Support women, support moms. Anyway, I'm Felisa. Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch y'all later on. Bye.